family. My name is Scott. I'm Taylor's oldest brother. I first wanted to start off by saying, Allie, you look fantastic tonight, and congratulations on officially becoming a part of the family. And to the rest of Allie's family, I look forward to getting to know you all very well over the years to come. And I am with you in that I still haven't been able to figure out why Allie said yes. So as I was sitting down thinking about what to write for tonight, I figured that for everyone here that knows Taylor, doesn't really need to hear me reiterate all the great things about my brother. Plus, if that's all that I talked about, this would be a pretty short speech. If you were a friend of Taylor's growing up, you'll know that there are some pretty defining personality traits that make up my brother. For example, he's competitive, he's driven in everything that he does, he's got a great imagination, he's competitive, he's very athletic, he likes to compete, and he's also very competitive. And when Allie first met Taylor, I presume all of these personality traits are what drew her to my brother. Along with the fact that she probably figured it would be pretty easy wearing the pants in the relationship because Taylor is a girl's name. I'm pretty sure that when Taylor was born, my parents were a little confused. Gender neutral name, just to be sure.
Scott!
You named him. So anyways, rather than talk about all the great things that make up Taylor, what I figured I would do tonight is really help Allie and her family get to know the Taylor that you might not already know. And I think the easiest way to really illustrate this for you guys is to start back at the beginning when we were kids. When we were young, our parents, probably like most parents, came up with nicknames for us. Mine ended up being Moot. I don't get that. Mike's was Bip. And for Taylor, they ended up on, do you remember?
Yeah.
Billy Goat.
Billy Goat.
Yeah, Billy Goat Gruff. And you guys are all probably thinking, oh, that's sweet. You know, he could probably crawl out of his pen, or he could jump high. He was a little goat. Unfortunately, these are not the reasons that he got that name. The reason he was given that name is he had a giant patch of white hair that grew out of his neck. And this wasn't a little like peach fuzzy patch, but it was like a mini Gandalf beard that grew out of his Adam's apple. And every time my mom tried to cut it, this thing would just grow back and forth.
Oh, Scott!
And it was at this point that Mike and I were pretty sure that this is a mutation. It was a good sign that our brother was going to be pretty weird growing up. So anyways, as we continued to get older, Taylor displayed plenty of signs that he was kind of growing up to be a bizarre child. His idea of being cool was putting a cooking pot on his head and running around the house in dad's sunglasses. His idea of a balanced and healthy meal was 2 candy bars in each hand. His favorite superhero wasn't Spider-Man or Batman or Superman, but it was Clint Eastwood. For some reason, his favorite number was 84, even though he couldn't count to 10 at the time. And his favorite phrase to say whenever he got frustrated, and he would shout at the top of his lungs was, "I quit, I win." And that was pretty much the solution every game that we played whenever he got frustrated. "I quit, I win." So to kind of continue, illustrating some of these bizarre tendencies that Taylor had, as when we were kids, we used to travel to the Oregon coast a lot, which is about a 4-hour drive from our previous home. And in order to really pass the time, Taylor would make up these games in the back seat. And one of these games that he made up involved these 12 stuffed toy monkeys. And rather than play with these stuffed animals like a normal kid would, where you pet it or feed it or whatever, Taylor would put all of these monkeys in his lap, and they would all proceed to have this giant battle, like some epic Mortal Kombat game where all these monkeys would fight to the death until there were 2 winners. And what was concerning is that Taylor didn't see these stuffed animals as kids' toys, but he looked at them as these like berserking gladiator animals that had to fight each other. And what was funny is these results were always the same. It was always these last 2. I think it was a spider monkey that would defeat this Donkey Kong in this last fight. And he would play this game for 4 hours through 2 different states. And if he played it 10 times, it would be the same result every time. These last 2 monkeys fighting, and it would never change. And I think it's just funny because there is an expression out there that goes, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And in Taylor's 4 hours of playing this game, he never had different results. So anyways, I did want to segue really quick, because any of you guys that know Taylor well, which is a handful of you, you probably just had an epiphany. Because this game that I just elaborated on probably sounds a lot like Super Smash Brothers. For those of you that have been with us this weekend, you've probably heard this word 100 times, but for those of you who don't know, Super Smash Brothers is this 15-year-old video game that Taylor has probably spent a quarter of his life playing. In high school, he was the undefeated champion. For 2 years running at Gonzaga, he was the undefeated champion, and he even has trophies in his room from winning tournaments in this game.
Those trophies are not in our room.
So, and I know there's a lot of groomsmen out here that have known Taylor for a while, and I was wondering if you guys could help me think of a word that really kind of defines Taylor's legacy for Allie's family. Do you guys have a word in mind that kind of comes to mind? As you guys can see, these accomplishments are not something that the Wageman's family are particularly proud of. So anyways, to continue fast forwarding, in high school, Taylor still continued to show signs of being kind of the forgotten middle child. That was always a joke. I kind of blazed the path on everything, and he was lost in the void. So anyways, one night he was over at a friend's house. I think it was actually Mike Bauman's. He's here somewhere.
Yeah.
And Taylor was leaving Mike's house, and he had his laptop with him. And he left Mike's house, and he set his laptop down behind the rear wheel of his car, went back into the house, said goodbye, came back out to the car, jumped in, started the engine, put it in reverse, and proceeded to back over his own laptop. And I think when he felt the bump, he put it back into drive and pulled forward again. And needless to say, our parents were not very happy when they heard this news. But I think more so than mad, they were just very disappointed that a family member was able to accomplish this near impossible task, running over your own computer with a car. So anyways, you guys get the point. I could probably go on for hours with stories, but I think the message that I'm trying to share with Allie and her family is be wary of the Taylor that you think you know. Because during your next holiday Christmas get-together, he might just start growing neck hair and having a battle with all of your Christmas ornaments. It has happened. So anyways, to kind of conclude, I did want to end on a serious note. Growing up, being the oldest brother of Taylor, Taylor made it very difficult for me to play the role of bigger brother. Mostly because he was good at everything that he did. You know, as the oldest brother, you're expected to be the biggest, the strongest, the fastest, the smartest. But with Taylor, even though I had an 18-month advantage to everything that we did, he never had any trouble closing that gap. I think in a lot of families, you know, as the older siblings, it's inherent to underestimate your younger siblings. But I can tell you that growing up with Taylor, I didn't have that luxury. I remember the first time that Taylor actually truly beat me in something. And it's not something trivial like poker or ping pong, but it was actually an arm wrestling match. I think I was 18 and Taylor was 16, and we were both very competitive, and somebody said, "Hey, why don't you guys have an arm wrestling match?" And I said, "Sure, this will be a slaughter." And so we sat down and we locked arms, and 1, 2, 3, go. And for 20 seconds I sat there anticipating just toppling my brother over, but after 20 or 30 seconds, he started defeating me, and my arm went down, and Taylor won. And I just remember being absolutely shocked that my brother had beat me in something. And really, I feel like at that point, there was kind of a tipping of the balance of brotherly power, so to speak. One thing that really defines Taylor's personality is that he gives it 110% in everything that he does. I've never known Taylor to back down from a challenge, from getting his engineering degree at Gonzaga, to training for marathons, to going and getting his master's in business. And I can honestly say that there's not a day in my life that goes by where I don't cherish having Taylor as my brother.
Oh.
But for the record, I still kick his ass and everything else. So with that, I couldn't be more happy for Allie and Taylor tonight. They're both adventurers at heart. They enjoy exploring the world together. In the few short years they've known each other, they've traveled to Thailand, to Hawaii. They've visited all the national parks, or a handful of them. They ran a half marathon together. I couldn't be more happy to have Taylor as a brother, and I know that Allie's going to make a kick-ass sister-in-law.
Oh.
So with that, congratulations, Taylor and Allie. I'd like to propose one final toast. My drink. to Taylor and Allie. Cheers.
That was really good.